Chapter 8 of Tractate Kesubos covers further additional laws of the marriage contract, the Kesubos between husband and wife when they marry. The first Mishnah says if a woman inherited properties before the initial stage of marriage, she's then allowed to sell or give them away, and it's a valid transfer. If she inherited the property after the initial stage of marriage, Beis Shammai says she can sell them, Beis Hillel says she cannot. It's agreed that if she did, though, it's still a valid transfer. It's questioned why, and it's said that they really do not actually understand the logic of the established principle that after marriage the husband can undo a sale with his wife's inherited properties, so they're not about to institute this also with properties inherited prior to the completion of the marriage. Anyways, if she inherited the properties after the completed final stage of marriage, the husband has the right to take them away back from the buyers. If she inherited the properties before the final stage of marriage and became fully married then, some say this is a lasting transfer. The same logic as above applies. Some distinguish between types of property, saying property known to the husband the wife cannot sell, and it's a void transfer, and if they're not known to the husband, she can't sell them, but if she did, it's a valid sale. The Gemara says the difference between before and after betrothal is that the properties are under her jurisdiction prior. After the first stage of marriage, it could be under hers or under his, so she can't sell it, but if she did, it's a valid sale. There's further discussion on this. It speaks on some specific cases. Others say if the woman acquired properties before or after the first stage of marriage, if she then gets fully married, her husband can revoke any later sale of them. This is disagreed with by a few others. Everyone agrees if she inherited the properties after the final stage of marriage during her life, the husband can revoke their sale. The definition of known and unknown properties are known properties are land, unknown properties are movable. Others disagree, saying that both of those are known, and unknown property is property that the woman acquired that's currently overseas. We bring proofs for that definition. Once a woman didn't want her property to go to her husband, so she signed it all away to her daughter beforehand, and then later divorced her husband, but a sage invalidated this. It's debated if this was valid. There's a bit of an argument. It said the property is considered like unknown property to the husband in accordance with the opinion that says that such property is actually retained by the wife. New Mishnah, if a married woman inherits money or detached produce, it should be used to buy land and the husband can eat of its produce. If she inherited produce attached to the land, some say they calculate how much more the land is worth with the produce, and that amount is used to buy land which the husband can eat from. Others say that the attached produce belongs to the husband while detached produce should be used to buy land. As a general principle, wherever the husband has the advantage by marriage, he has a disadvantage by divorce, and vice versa. For instance, when he marries, the husband gets attached produce, and if he divorces, she gets the attached produce. With detached produce, by marriage, she gets it, by divorce, he gets it. The Gemara says, in regards to land purchases, land is always purchased over a house. Houses are always purchased over date palms. Date palms are always purchased over other fruit trees, and fruit trees are purchased over grapevines. Regarding sorb trees or a fish pond, there's debate if those qualify as land or as principal. Generally, if a trunk regrows, it's considered to be produce, otherwise it's considered to be principal legally. There's further qualification on these points. New Mishnah, if a woman inherits old slaves or maidservants or old olive trees and grapevines, they should be sold and used to buy land which the husband can use. Others say they're not sold as they represent the prestige of her father's house. The Gemara says the dispute on the use of trees is only she didn't also inherit the field. If she did, it's agreed that she does not need to sell them. New Mishnah, if somebody spent money on his wife's property and then divorces her, no matter what he spent, he can't demand compensation from his wife unless he only spent and didn't consume, in which case he swears what he spent and can take compensation. The Gemara says it said he can't demand compensation if he consumed even a little bit of the produce. Some say this is even a single dried fig, assuming he didn't eat it quickly. Others say it's even if it's as small as a case of pressed dates, and it's unresolved if he benefited from a cake of squeezed out dates. If he ate the produce quickly, it's debated as to how much he needed to eat. There are a few other particular incidents mentioned of such cases and further discussion, which all goes further. New Mishnah, if somebody pending Yibum inherited property, it's agreed that she can sell them or give them away, and it's a valid transfer. If she died while pending Yibum, Beis Shammai says her marriage contract and properties are divided between her husband's heirs and her father's heirs. Beis Hillel says that everything stays with whoever has it, so the marriage contract would be with her husband's heirs, and her property would stay with her father's heirs. If the dead husband left money or detached produce, it should be used to buy land that his brother can eat from. If he he left attached produce, some say an appraisal is made, and the extra money the land is worth from the produce is used to buy land. Others say attached produce goes to the brothers and detached produce goes to whoever acquired it first, and if it went to the wife, it should be used to buy land. If they marry, they are considered husband and wife in all respects, besides that his marriage contract obligation is on the estate of the first husband. The husband can't designate part of his brother's property as the marriage contract to be able to access the rest of the property. Actually, all of the first husband's property is pledged as her marriage contract. This also applies by a typical marriage. If the Yibum couple divorce, she gets her original actual marriage contract. If they remarry, she's like a typical remarried divorcee and is entitled only to the original marriage contract. The Gemara says, if a woman pending Yibum dies, it's debated who has to bury her. It said it's the Yibum brothers' responsibility. We bring sources, although it's debated based on the logic of some related cases. Therefore, there are particular cases discussed, and it goes further through what rights exactly the brother that's doing Yibum has to the original husband's estate. There are further points. It says by the Yibum marriage, the marriage contract goes to the estate of the first husband, as the new husband isn't really fully choosing this marriage. If there is not a marriage contract from the first marriage, they have to make a new one to decrease the possibility of divorce. The remaining points are also discussed, and that's the end of chapter 8.